Hello, beautiful souls. Hope you all are doing really, really well. I know it's been a few weeks since I've come on and shared with you through our Release and Create series within Revolution 9. So here I am. I wanted to first start out for those of you who know who I am. Know that my name is Maria Esposito, and I'm the founder and owner of Revolution 9, which is simply put, we are a holistic training, guidance, and consulting company. That more or less our whole um, process and our whole excuse me, um, being here is to more or less train and guide you to creating a life of wholeness. So in return, you're able to make the decisions and flow through life in a way that is in a space of abundance, in a space of light, and a space of creating your desired outcomes. I am your psychic healer, a wholeness trainer, and wellness guide. And I help and I utilize the beautiful tools to help people create, release, awareness, release, healing, and revolutionary change. And with that, I use the beautiful tools of hypnotherapy, timeline therapy, neurolinguistic programming, and coupled in with my scaled certifications in numerology, which is also linked to my intuitive and psychic gifts. So coupling in, that space of numerology and what that is the vibrational component of numbers and how those numbers, mean something to you and how that space is actually your space of awareness, and it creates a blueprint of your soul's purpose in this time and space reality. And coupled in with my other intuitive gifts, so we work together in different ways with a main focus on groups. And and for those of you that are looking for those releases one-on-ones, I do offer those opportunities as well. And so it's funny because I've been kind of in the process of going through some technical changes with this channel and other platforms, and trying to merge, um, you know, Evolution 6, Elite Property Investments, with Revolution 9. So it's been an ongoing process and going through the technical logistics. And I noticed that I noticed that there wasn't any videos regarding timeline therapy, which is what I mentioned. It's one of I'm a master practitioner in timeline therapy. And I wanted to come in and talk to you because I've been actually receiving questions on exactly what is timeline therapy, because a lot of people understand and have heard of regression therapy, but timeline is different than regression. So, and also share with you, the benefits and how you could use, not so much use this tool because you'll need a facilitator to help you through it, but the benefits of what timeline therapy is, and the benefits that you'll receive from going through a timeline therapy journey. So, to start out, we all experience life in very different ways. We all experience contrasting moments, and how we process those times and those experiences. The way we do it is all the same, but what makes us as individuals so unique is our own filters, our belief systems, our values, our language, our, deeper meta programs, our strategies, and all these different filters. That's what makes us unique, because we all process that differently. But as a whole, we all go through processing information the same. It's just our filters is what makes us unique in terms of the end result. So with that said, We all experience different events and different contrasting moments, and going through these times of contrast specifically um, is more or less what creates us from repressing unconsciously, you know, these dramatic traumatic events, because when we're repressing at an unconscious level, it's basically protecting us. That is a mechanism of safety and defense for us, is that when we're going through these experiences, it's repressing it unconsciously. So we're holding on to that energy until the unconscious mind believes that it's safe to release that. So with that said, when you're looking at timeline therapy, so maybe it's best to go and speak a bit about the difference between timeline and regression. Now, I've gone through regression, past life regressions and things like that. So past life regressions, you're actually able to go back to various events in the past and experience those events, whereas in unique and different ways, and take the learnings from those events and learn and experience from those past, and revert, and regress back to those times. So in essence, timeline therapy is similar in the sense we're able to regress back to past lives, to an experience that you may have experienced in the womb, an experience in the past that you maybe was passed down genealogically, and or something that was experienced at childhood. So these are different times that we're able to go back using your timeline, which is what we figure out when we go through a timeline therapy session, is using that timeline, is establishing where your timeline is, and then using that timeline to go back to those times that I just specified. But specifically, like it says in the title, timeline therapy, this is cut more in a space of a therapy, even though this is not the medical field. So, but essentially, it's a very therapeutic. So it's very specific to dealing with and releasing these experiences from these times. First and foremost, your major negative emotions. So the major negative emotions we really focus on in timeline therapy is anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt, and then sometimes rage. Depending on the situation and the client. Those are the first areas that we target. So we're able to regress back, going to whether it was a past life, whether it was a past, it was within the womb, past life, passed down to you genealogically, and we establish what that, establish when you experience that, and then we go through your timeline to that time, and we release those negative emotions. And then from that point, because when you're literally taking something out from your mind, from your emotions, you always want to replace something back. So from that point, that's when you receive your learnings from that event. And it's those learnings that allow you to not only release the negative emotions, but also be able to move forward and give you choice and options, so that if you were to experience something like that in the future, you'll have more capabilities to state manage, you'll have more options. So instead of saying reacting, you're more acting. You're in a space of cause as opposed to effect. So it's a phenomenal tool to really, release, those negative emotions. Now, timeline therapy is also very, very effective in the areas of deeper conditions like anxiety, like limiting decisions and limiting beliefs that you may have. It's also very, very impactful and very effective on, say, reoccurring limiting beliefs or limiting decisions that you're holding on to that are reoccurring. So it is a process that is very, very specific to dealing with, these major negative emotions, these deeper rooted conditions. We're establishing the root causes of when that event happened, and then you go through the process of releasing whatever it is that, based on what we're working on, whether it was negative emotion, limiting decisions, if we're doing an anxiety protocol, whatever that may be. So you go through the process of releasing those emotions unconsciously, then you're able to receive the learnings from that experience, which will allow you to more easily release and heal. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's a very, very beautiful process. It's a very effective. It's one of my go-tos next to hypnotherapy, and I kind of like to look at it. It's almost like a journey, like hypnotherapy, a little bit different. Because it is very specific, but so is hypnotherapy. But it is truly a healing, a release and healing modality. And will really, so if you are experiencing these, various states of being, timeline therapy is a really great way. Another point I'd like to share with you is understanding even when you're looking at timelines. So when you're dealing with, so for example, if we're going through a timeline therapy session and you had a past life experience. Now, whether you believe in past lives or not, your unconscious mind might believe something different. So, so you never want to deny the facts that, we don't know everything, right? So really in this space, if, like, going back to my example, if you were to go back and you had a past life experience, the chances are, and I almost guarantee, that that experience has created these alternate future events up to your now. So the beautiful thing that is also very, very impactful with timeline therapy, these events that are linked to that initial events are called gestalts. So when you have that initial event and moving forward to your current day, that event, even if it's a past life, could be you've created other events up until now that have created these emotions, these, patterns and whatnot. So the beauty in timeline therapy is actually, it not only do you get the learnings and the release from that initial event, and you establish the root cause, but it also rips out all the gestalts up until your now. So that's another really key thing to note, with timeline therapy. So anyways, I wanted to keep this short, and moving forward, let's see how well I do with keeping these videos a little bit more shorter than normal. But if you find that this video would really benefit anyone please subscribe, like, share, and by all means comment. It'll definitely help with the algorithm and getting this message out. So stay tuned for more release and create series options where I more or less share with you how to, create and use various tools to be able to create that release, that awareness, release, and healing in your daily life, as well as share different, based on questions and things that I get. I'll also be posting, like this video, information on, various tools that I utilize and exactly what that means. But for the most part, a lot of videos within the Release and Create series will be do-it-yourself tools that I'm sharing as a trainer in the space to be able to help teach you and train you how to create a life of wholeness, release, and healing. So once again, thank you very much. Sending you all tons of love, and we will definitely see you soon. Bye.